I, Reeti Tripathi, Civil Judge Junior Division, cum Judicial Magistrate First Class Nishinta Koili, take this proud privilege to welcome all the legal luminaries and eminent dignitaries to observe the Foundation Day of Museum of Justice. Today, we are fortunate to have with us His Lordship Honorable Shri Justice Arindam Sinha, the Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, and the Honorable Companion Judges of the High Court of Orissa, who, along with their spouses, have spared their valuable time to be with us here today. I would now humbly request His Lordship Honorable Shri Justice Arindam Sinha, Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, His Lordship Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Chairman RRDC Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, His Lordship Honorable Shri Justice Ashikanta Mishra, Judge, High Court of Orissa and Member RRDC Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, and Professor Shri Basant Kumar Malik, Consultant History, Center for Judicial Archives, to kindly adorn the dais. I now seek the permission of the Chair to declare the function as open. Thank you, my Lord. The function is declared as open. My Lords, our heads bow down in gratitude for your Lordship's kind and gracious presence on this momentous event. On this august occasion, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here. We also have with us the respected President and other office bearers, Orissa High Court Bar Association, the esteemed Registrar General and officers of the Registry of the High Court of Orissa, the respected Member Secretary and officers of the Orissa State Legal Services Authority, Cuttack, the respected Director and officers of the Orissa Judicial Academy, Cuttack, respected District and Sessions Judge, Cuttack, respected government officials and invited guests, members of the Consultative Committee, Museum of Justice, members of Editorial Board, Legal History Project, members of the print and electronic media. I also welcome all the judicial officers from across the state on this program, as this program is being live streamed in the YouTube channel of the High Court of Orissa. Justice is not just the law in action, but the history of its struggle, the stories of its triumphs, and the lessons of its failures. The Museum of Justice stands as a sentinel of our shared values, reminding us of the struggles, triumphs, and sacrifices that have shaped our justice system. This creates a reflective atmosphere as attendees begin their experience, connecting the museum's exhibits with a deeper understanding of the legal history of Odisha. Earlier, the High Court Museum was inaugurated on 12th of November 2017, and later it was upgraded and made theme-based with addition of more artifacts and galleries, and rechristened as Museum of Justice. It was inaugurated on 25th of February 2023 by the then Honorable Governor of Odisha, aiming to preserve the heritage and history of the judiciary in Odisha. The exhibition halls are thoughtfully designed with theme-based displays that showcases the evolution of Odisha's legal heritage, significant judgments, the freedom struggle of Orissa, and the private papers and documents of eminent jurists. May the Museum of Justice remain a vibrant testament to our commitment to upholding the rule of law, promoting fairness, and honoring the tireless efforts of those who have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of justice. It is now with great honor and respect I humbly request His Lordship, Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge High Court of Orissa and Chairman RRDC Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee to kindly present the welcome address. My Lord, please.
Honorable Justice Arindam Sinha, the Acting Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, Justice Sashikant Mishra, Member of the Museum Committee, and all the members of the Museum Committee, all the judges present here and their beautiful spouses, all the bar members who are here, all the judicial officers, and all the audience here. Men do not make history, men are made by history. Martin Luther King once said. Ladies and gentlemen, we study history not to be clever to another time, but to be wise always. It is a privilege to welcome you all to the second Foundation Day of the Museum of Justice. Since its upgradation on February 23rd, 2023, this institution has become a beacon of our legal heritage, illuminating the journey of justice and truth. More than a collection of artifacts, it is the museum is more than a collection of artifacts. It is a living testament to the evolution of law and the tireless defenders of justice who shape our judiciary. A museum such as this does not merely present history. It ensures that the ideals of justice remains a guiding force for the generations to come. History is not distant, it moves within us, shaping our choices, our action, and our identity. Very often, we relegate it to books or special occasions like this, forgetting that it is alive in the struggles and triumphs of those before us. The victories of our forefathers were not just theirs, they are ours to protect and build upon. And just as they fought for the justice and freedom, so must we honor that fight while learning from their journey. We must embrace both their wisdom and their mistakes, not as burden, but as tools to carve a better future. The Museum of Justice, housed within the historic ruins of Barbati Fort in Cuttack, stands as a proud addition to this culturally rich city and the state of Orissa. The one of its first of its kind in India, it serves as a bridge between the past and present, chronicling landmark judgments, the evolution of legal systems, and the courage of those who sought justice against all odds. Our judiciary has stood as a sentinel of fairness and protector of the weak and the unwavering force for the rule of law. As we celebrate the occasion, let's not only admire the past but also draw our strength from the past. We live in an age where history is not confined to books or locked away in institutions. It breathes, speaks, and interacts with those who seek to understand history. Museums hold a place of great trust, not only as keepers of artifacts, but as custodians of knowledge and heritage. The past is not meant to be observed from the distance. It is meant to be engaged in, questioned, and understood as part of our shared identity. By making history accessible, museums foster dialogue and learning, helping the communities shape a future grounded in the wisdom of the past, which is being done by our museum. The museum today are no longer more repositories of etiquettes. They are centers of education, civic engagement, and cultural preservation across the world. By focusing inclusivity and access to cultural heritage. They create spaces where diverse communities and find common ground and understand their differences here. I am proud to announce that in just 2 years, this museum has grown into more than a repository of history. It has become an interactive space where ideas meet, where minds reflect, and where justice is not just a principle but a lived experience. It is cultural hub, an intellectual destination, and a testament to our collective responsibility to preserve and engage with our history. As it reaches, grows, so does our vision to make it truly a social space where history does not remain a relic but a source of inspiration. Each artifact in the museum, each narrative, each discussion with these worlds serves as a reminder that history is not a static. It breathes, evolves, it speaks to those willing to listen. This museum has become a space where justice is examined not just as an ideal but as a responsibility we share. As we continue to expand our reach, we envision a space where every visitor, whether a scholar, a student, or a curious mind, finds meaning, relevance, and inspiration in the narratives that define the shared humanity. By connecting the past with the present, we encourage critical thinking, empathy, and a commitment to truth. Our vision extends beyond preservation. We seek to cultivate a community where history informs action, where dialogue sparks change, where every visitor lives with a deeper understanding of their role in shaping a just and equitable future. Let this celebration not just mark another milestone, but reaffirm our commitment to justice, to history, and to the principle that bind us as a society. Together we carry forward the legacy of those who came before us, ensuring that history remains not just remembered but lived. संघर्षों की आंधी में जो दीप जले थे कल, उनके रोशनी पथ दिखाए सदा रहे अभी चल। गौरवशाली गाथाएं, नमन उन्हीं को हर बार जो जलकर दीपक बने, मिटा दिया अंधीधार। थैंक यू।
Thank you, my lord, for the warm welcome extended to our honorable guests, along with your valuable words of insight in enlightening the essence of judicial history. As we have gathered here to witness this momentous occasion, let us cherish the memories of Museum of Justice, which are way beyond a mere repository of antiquities, inclusive of cultural and social space of interest of historians, legal academicians, researchers, and students cherishing the rich judicial history of Orissa. May I now request the technical team of High Court of Orissa to kindly play the video.
Standing in a century-old majestic building on the heritage site of the ruins of Barabati Fort of Cuttack, Museum of Justice, the first judicial museum of its kind in India, not only showcases antiquarian articles used in the courts in the bygone eras, but also depicts the evolution of the judicial system through different periods of time in history. This is the third major museum in the Millennium City of Cuttack, the cultural capital of Odisha. Built in 1904 in an area of about 1.47 acres, with a built-up area of 10,140 square feet in Indo-Saracenic style of architecture, the building was once used as the official residence of the Commissioner of the Province of Odisha and the Governor subsequently till independence. With the establishment of High Court of Orissa in 1948, it became the official residence of the Chief Justice till 2012, when the residence was shifted to Cantonment Road. The High Court of Orissa decided to establish a judicial museum in the building in 2015 to display the artifacts, antique objects, books, obsolete court articles, and archival materials of the High Court and different district courts of Odisha. Originally named the High Court Museum, it was inaugurated on November 12, 2017, but later, it was upgraded and made theme-based with addition of more artifacts and galleries and rechristened Museum of Justice. It was inaugurated on February 25, 2023 by the Hon'ble Governor of Odisha. Theme Pavilion is the introductory gallery containing a digital timeline of the High Court of Orissa, along with pictures and graphic models of the court and its development since inception. Gallery 1 attempts to trace the evolution of justice system in Odisha from ancient to modern, with notes, excerpts from old texts, photos, inscriptions, and archival records. Gallery 2 depicts the freedom movement from 1804 to 1947, with references to trials and conviction of different freedom fighters of Odisha. Gallery 3 portrays the mode of dispensation of justice among the tribes, as well as the importance of tribal customary laws. Gallery 4 showcases some important judgments and news of the period from 1808 to 2013. Gallery 5 displays the old court apparels and accessories. Gallery 6 portrays the historical timeline of development of legal education in Odisha and information on prominent lawyers of Odisha, along with classification of legal practitioners. Gallery 7 is displayed as a mock courtroom modeled on the heritage courtrooms of Baripada and Aska. Apart from the galleries, the museum has facilities for the visitor to have a virtual experience of walking into the courtrooms of High Court of Orissa, Cuttack. Anti-soothing and lush green landscape of the building created around it attracts the visitors in large numbers to spend time in the historical ambience and nature simultaneously. A visitor to the museum can view and enrich himself through the depiction of the history of evolution of judicial system from ancient through medieval, colonial and modern times. Learn about eminent legal luminaries associated with the history of Orissa High Court.
such a proud preservation of judicial lineage for the people of Odisha. At this juncture, I am honored to request His Lordship Honorable Shri Justice Ashikanta Mishra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and member RRDC Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee to address this acclaimed gathering. My Lord, please.
Namaskar and a very good evening to all. Honorable Sri Justice Arindam Sinha, the Acting Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, the Chairman of the RRDC Committee, the other honorable members of the committee, honorable judges of the High Court, the gracious madams, Dr. Basant Kumar Malik, the members of the consultative committee present here, the president and other office bearers of the Odisha High Court Bar Association, the learned DSGI, the Deputy Solicitor General of India, the learned judicial officers, both who are present here as also those who have joined online. I'll be very brief. I'll simply say that what is this museum all about? I would say that what does this museum intend to communicate? It actually, to me, it tells a story. And I'm reminded of the day when Madam Nivedita Mahanti, who is present here, an esteemed member of the consultative committee and a renowned historian of the state, she told me that when you are designing the museum, you design it in such a manner that it will be like a book, with each gallery being akin to a chapter of the book. There will be a common thread running through the book so as to bind it, but each chapter will tell its own story. So what story does this museum tell us? It is certainly a story of our legacy, of our development, of our evolution, of our struggles, of our customs and whatnot. Let me just expand on this for a moment. When I say development, I mean, or our legacy, what I mean is not very difficult to understand. It is as Dr. Justice Panigrahi has said, it's a repository of all that represents Odisha in the past. Of course, from a judicial system point of view. So that is, it showcases, it tells the story. Then it is about our development, how we have developed through the times. I mean, this also seeks to dispel the somewhat common notion that we have been taught law only by the Britishers. Well, I think any visitor to gallery number 1, which is evolution of the judicial system in Odisha, will know for himself or herself that this is not correct. We had a fairly well-developed legal or judicial system right from the ancient times, through the medieval times, till the colonial rulers arrived on our shores. Then it is a story of our struggles. As you have seen, we have dedicated one gallery to the freedom struggle. Freedom struggle through the eyes of judiciary. And in fact, we are also trying to conduct some research on it. All those who have fought against the colonial rulers or the colonial government and have come through the judicial system at some point or the other have been showcased in that gallery. So that is a story of our struggle. It is also a story of our customs. As you have all seen, the customs of the aborigines, the tribals, the tribal communities, whom Emperor Ashoka called the Atavikas. We have tried to portray that what Ashoka instructed his judicial officers with regard to these Atavikas, that we will not disturb you. You remain content with in your own lives, protecting your own customs, traditions. And the same thread runs even till today through the Constitution of India and the other statutory enactments for the protection of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, rather the scheduled tribes. So it tells about all these things. It's a story. Now, how did it come about? I must say that it has been a joint effort, a Herculean effort, but it has been not a single man's project at all. It's a joint effort. We have visited libraries, we have visited archives, we have visited museums across the country. There were two reasons. First is to collect some materials, which we have done. You can see because we have mentioned the sources from which we have collected the materials. And also, how to showcase it. In particular, I will, for the information of the August gathering, I will say that there is a particular museum in Calcutta called the Police Museum. I think the Honorable SCJ must be knowing about it. It is in Maniktala Street, in the paternal house of Radha Ram Mohan Roy. We were initially reluctant to visit that museum, thinking that what relevance it would have in our project. But the manner in which they had showcased is something we were left awestruck, and in fact we have borrowed it. Then we went to the Bihar Museum, which has been revamped with the aid of Japanese government. The way they have projected, we have accepted the good practices of many such institutions. So it has been a joint effort of all, and in fact I tell you there have been numerous meetings, and I must tell you one thing, that each and every single item on display that you see has been carefully chosen, discussed, debated, and finally selected. It has never been an easy journey. There has been a lot of brainstorming exercises. Finally, what could be the road ahead? As was pointed out, this is not just an organization or just a place for others to come and shoot selfies. Well, that is permissible because the beautiful environment, the ambience permits you to do that, and fair enough. But the deeper purpose of it, as I said, if it is a story, then this story must go on. We must ensure that this story goes on. It is up to us what to do with it, whether to leave it as a lifeless, inert building, or to transform it into let us say, an organic and dynamic entity which interacts with us at a subtle level. It will, in programs like these and in the programs that have been designed to be held in future, I'm sure the story will get even more refined, and it will become more and more interesting and enriching for the future generations. On this Foundation Day has been in fact decided to be held to relive not just the memories, but to reassure and to promise ourselves that we will continue with this journey of not just showcasing our legacy, but enriching it by learning more about our past in a more effective manner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind presence.
Thank you, my lord, for your words of wisdom and sharing the rich trove experiences of the making of Museum of Justice and its future prospects. I feel extremely honored to request His Lordship, Honorable Shri Justice Arindam Sinha, Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to enrich this gathering with your visionary address. My lord, please.
Namaskar. Justice Panigrahi, Chairman of RRDC, Justice Shashikant Mishra, Member of RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, my sister and brother judges, their gracious spouses, Professor Shri Basant Kumar Mollik, Consultant History, Center for Judicial Archives, Registrar General and officers of the Registry, Mr. Prasanna Kumar Pari, Deputy Solicitor General for Orissa, Mr. Vijay Kumar Das, President, Bar Association, High Court of Orissa, and office bearers. There is also the consultative committee members. Acha. Members of the consultative committee, staff of the High Court, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be a part of this event to observe Foundation Day of this museum. The Museum of Justice was first inaugurated on 12th November 2017 by the then Chief Justice of India, the Honorable Mr. Justice Deepak Mishra, as his lordship then was, in presence of the then Chief Justice of Orissa and other honorable judges. Later, Chief Justice Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, as his lordship then was, revamped and refurbished the museum. It was dedicated to the general public this day on 25th February in year 2023 by His Excellency the Governor of Orissa, Professor Ganeshilal. The committee decided to observe this day as Foundation Day of the museum. The Museum of Justice showcases different important judgments of post-independent era, manual typewriter of British era, wooden chairs, table lamps, wooden seals, brass badges, brass weights, court seals, silver badges, table calling bells used by different judgeships of Orissa, old books, judgments, antique objects which have been preserved and showcased in the Museum of Justice to make the people aware of the judicial history of Orissa. The Museum of Justice is a perfect place to learn as to how justice was being delivered in times before and gives a fascinating insight into the Indian legal system, the challenges faced by those who fought for justice and equality. His Excellency Professor Ganeshilal, while inaugurating the Museum of Justice on 25th February 2023, termed the Museum of Justice as 8th wonder of the world. I am informed that during the Pravasi Bharat Divas observed by Government of Orissa held in last month of January 2025, many foreign delegates and Indian nationals residing abroad visited this museum to gain insights about Orissa's judicial history. Since date of inauguration of this museum, it has become a place of attraction for many. The High Court, for convenience of people visiting the museum, opened a cafeteria. Efforts are also being made to showcase more judgments rendered in different cases and antique objects of historical importance. Gallery number 2 of this Museum of Justice showcases trials and convictions of various freedom fighters. Many judgments of historical importance in connection with prosecution of the freedom fighters like Lakshman Nayak, Balaram Pujari are exhibits. The museum will also inspire the young generation to be a part of the legal fraternity for social cause. The Museum of Justice is a treasure of information for the common man, lawyers, judges, and members of the legal fraternity. The observance of Foundation Day today is not a mere formality. It reminds us of our collective responsibility to make the people aware of the rich heritage of Orissa judiciary and to make them legally literate. I trust and believe that this Museum of Justice will not only help in preserving and giving insights to the people of Orissa about the rich heritage and history of judiciary in Orissa and India, but also would be source of inspiration for many to fight for the social cause and justice. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, my lord, for your enlightening words and thoughts on Museum of Justice as the 8th wonder of the world. Coming to the end of this event, it's time for bowing down with immense sense of gratitude. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. With this now, I request Professor Shri Basant Kumar Mallik, Consultant History, Center for Judicial Archives Committee, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Honorable Acting Chief Justice Shri Justice Arindam Sinha ji, Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge, High Court of Orissa and Chairman RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives. Honorable Shri Justice Shashikant Mishra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, Member RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee. Honorable sitting judges of the High Court of Orissa and their esteemed spouses, other distinguished guests and participants. I have the pleasure and the privilege to offer the vote of thanks on this august occasion of celebrating the Foundation Day of the Museum of Justice located at the historic Baravati Fort. At the outset, I would like to convey our sincere hearty thanks to Honorable Acting Chief Justice of the High Court of Orissa, Sri Justice Arindam Sinha, for delivering the keynote address and inspiring the audience. I offer the sincere thanks to Honorable Dr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar Panigrahi, Judge, High Court of Orissa and Chairman RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, for delivering welcome address with so much insightful thoughts. I offer my sincere thanks to Honorable Sri Justice Shashikant Mishra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, Member RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, for presenting the historical development of the Museum of Justice and also giving a reference to the historical growth of a judicial system in India. I also convey our hearty thanks to other distinguished members of the RRDC, Museum of Justice and Center for Judicial Archives Committee, namely Honorable Sri Justice Mruganka Shekhar Sahu, Honorable Sri Justice Biraja Prasanna Satpathy and Honorable Sri Justice Shivashankar Mishra for their august presence on this occasion. I offer our hearty thanks to Honorable sitting judges of the High Court of Orissa and their esteemed spouses for their august presence on this occasion. Last but not least, I express my sincere hearty thanks to officers of the Registry of the Court, officers of the Odisha Judicial Academy, Member Secretary and officers of Odisha State Legal Service Authority, Cuttack, District Judge Cuttack, Advocate General High Court of Odisha, Deputy Solicitor General High Court of Odisha, President, Secretary and office bearers of the Bar Association of High Court of Odisha, Collector Cuttack and other officials, DCP Cuttack, CMC Commissioner Cuttack, District Tourist Officer Cuttack, District Culture Officer Cuttack, Director cum OSD Center for Judicial Archives and the research team, members of this consultative committee, members of the editorial board Judicial History Project and members from press and media for their august presence, help and cooperation in different ways. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. May I have the permission of your lordship to declare the function as closed? Thank you, my lord. The event is now closed.